Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hob, where the refs are sketchy and the tea is good. I'm DJ Kilgannon, and with me in the booth is my friend and close colleague, Andrew Gibson. Our statisticians for the evening are Eddie Gage and Keith Wheeler, and Alex West is the one producing the game behind the scenes. Thank you all for being here to finish off our Tuesday slate of games here in Week 3 of the SFLm's 12th season. Andrew, Boston's hoping to bounce back after a really rough start to their season, and San Diego is hoping to continue winning on the road after they couldn't last season. What do you think both teams need to do to change the narrative in their favor?
I think overall Boston just needs to start handing the ball off. They've got TJ Duckett. They've got work done. I think overall they just need to get the run game going. And for San Diego, it's pretty simple. Just keep going to Jolton Joe, Duncan, and their wide receivers as well, their tight ends. I think it's going to be an evenly fought game, but I think San Diego's going to take this one, but we'll see.
We shall see. Like we said, Boston hoping to get a win in their column, the only team without a win so far in Season 12. And we are off here in this beautiful Boston Cavalry Stadium, and they will start with the ball out at the 37-yard line. Let's go over their offense. Doc Holliday leading the charge at quarterback. Warwick Dunn and TJ Duckett, their halfbacks. George Lane, their fullback. Dallas Sanders, Brian Finneran, Fearless Price, and Trevor Gaylor, their wide receivers. Algie Crumpler and Jeremy Shockey, their tight ends. Offset I form for Boston will be a handoff right up the middle and shut down quickly. Keith Brooking, the one to get in there.
Keith Brooking, and I think I didn't see who that other name was.
It was Horizon Breeze, excuse me. I got my rosters flipped here.
Yeah, it looked like Breeze and either Walker or Irvin that got a hand on him, but not, either way, nice job by San Diego to blow up the run game.
Extra body there on the line of scrimmage for the defense. Holliday throws to the right over the shoulder of a defender. Perfectly slotted in there to catch that one. Fearless Price with the hands.
And it looks like Ken Irvin just got turned around there, but a nice
Great
ball
throw
from Doc Holliday to fit it right behind Ken Irvin.
Dane Jensen, Mookie Moore, Roberto Garza, Martin Bibla, and Robert Hicks, that offensive line. Two-step drop from Holliday. Caught! He's going towards the middle of the field. 10-5. Touchdown, Cavalry. Dallas Sanders, a little bit of space was all he needed to punch it in for 6.
And that's exactly what you want right there. A little opening drive confidence from Boston. They didn't see that much in their last 2 games, but overall, a solid route and a nice cut there from Dallas Sanders to get Boston on the board.
The stands erupt, and the chat left speechless with that early Holliday to Sanders connection. Wow, what a play. Certainly not looking like the Boston we've seen in the last few weeks here, Andrew. That one's up and good to make it a 7-point ball game early.
Yeah, I think if Boston's going to win this game, they just need to keep doing what's working, and that definitely worked as we saw in the first drive.
San Diego about to field this one, hoping they can have a similar favorable drive in their favor. A booming kick out of the back of the end zone, and that's why you have a kicker. Big, hefty Matty Maniac, the leg out there for Boston. 5'7", 265 pounds. He is a bowling ball if I've ever seen one.
That is one beefy kicker.
He sure is. Offset I here for San Diego. Ball on their 20 as Lovelace is under center. Oh, they bring an extra fumble for Boston. It's scooped up. Touchdown, Cavalry!
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I am in shock. You saw the blitzing linebacker cheat towards the line. He shot in and destroyed that halfback before he even had the ball. They scoop it up and score. Patrick Kearney the one with the touchdown, and Keith Brooking, the one with the alley-oop.
Keith Brooking just absolutely blew that play up. Oh my gosh.
Ready to see the longest drive ever from Goose. Answered quickly by a Boston touchdown to make it a 14-0 lead. And Andrew, we barely have over a minute off the clock.
That if that's a sign of things to come, I don't know what is. We're in for a high scoring game, I feel like. What a start.
San Diego fielding this one in their end zone. Wow, what a start for Boston. I don't think you could ask for a better start. Like we said, after the rough slate of games they found themselves in here early. And as far as getting a win in there for their team, I mean, they're starting off hot.
They're definitely starting off hot.
Make things better. Very similar formation as that last play. Can't imagine it would be as disastrous. Lovelace under center. Handoff this time. It's fielded and a gain of 3 there. That is Joe Duncan. You're going to be hearing that name quite a bit. This offense for San Diego, Eden Lovelace leads the charge at quarterback. Michael Bennett, Doug Chapman, and Joe Duncan, the ball carriers. Looks like some motion in the fullback spot. And a pitch to the outside, a ton of room to run. Gets wrangled down a few yards short of that first down marker. Bennett, the one that got the toss.
Kevin McAdam on the stop there. Nice stop. Just kind of held him down to just a nice little conservative tackle to bring him down after a gain of 8.
Playbook is open here for San Diego. Turn that offset eye once again. Very comfortable in that look. Hand off to that left-hand side. Don't get a fumble!
Oh, my gosh.
And they get it back. Big 74 on the line. The one to dive on it. That's Bryant McKinney. And wow, almost another disaster there for Boston. As Joe Duncan lets that one slip out of his hands. But they recover, and they're going to be forced to punt.
Oh, my gosh. If you're Joe Duncan, you got to hold on to the ball better than that. You just can't be allowing those drops.
Especially, it's scary to see with how good we know San Diego's rushing attack can be, how much they're struggling to start this one. And they're running. So, you know, it's interested to see how this one will turn out for them. This San Diego defense goes as follows. Willie Howard, Chuck Wiley, Kevin Williams, and Storm Johnson, your defensive line. Chris Claiborne, Nick Rogers, Horizon Breeze, and E.J. Henderson, your linebackers. Denard Walker, Ken Irvin, Brian Williams, your corners. Tony Tomlinson, Brian Russell, and Corey Chavis, the rest of that defensive back crew as that tackle is broken. And then he fights for 2 more before the cleanup crew comes in.
Brian Russell with a nice cleanup tackle after Horizon Breeze made the initial stop. That if you're San Diego, you just got to rely on that duo as much as you can if you're going to stop this Boston team.
Bill Gramatica and Nick Murphy, the legs for the San Diego squad. A big hefty running back takes it and gets brought down at the line of scrimmage. TJ Duckett, the one with the carry.
And once again, Brian Russell, another tackle right there.
Not much luck here to start this drive for Boston, but hoping to keep the drive alive and move the chains here. Single back behind Holiday as he's under center against this dime look for the Aces. Pressure's there, trying to connect over the middle, but Corey Hall gets his hands on it, and that one falls to the ground.
Correction, a slight correction here. I think that was actually Bill Russell that got his hands on it. Either that or
you're right.
It was Brian Russell that got his hand in there and knocked that ball away.
Thank you for keeping me in check there, partner.
You're all good. You're all good.
Early into a drive here, Boston is going to march out Chris Moore to punt this one back to San Diego. And man, this is a weird game to start here, Andrew.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think if you're San Diego, you're just relieved that Boston doesn't walk away with points, even if it hasn't been Boston's offense that hasn't been doing much of the work. If you're San Diego's defense, you're kind of just relieved that you didn't give up points there.
Dwayne Bates there on the return. Yeah, I completely agree with you. It could have been a lot worse. for the Aces, but it's only a 2-possession ball game. We still have a ton of time to play. Another offset eye look for them. Very comfortable in this look. She'll pass this time over the middle. Caught! A ton of room to run! A lot of it. 30, 25. The cavalry is coming, and the tackle is made at about the 15-yard line. Derek Alexander found a lot of room.
Derek Alexander just found a seam, and he was nearly gone, but caught by, I believe that was Keith Brooking and company. But what a play from Derek Alexander.
Nearly picked off from the secondary as well. Paula Alazar had a chance at it and came up just a little short. One catch, 69 yards for Alexander. Already well within the SFLm red zone. Lovelace will survey under 6 minutes to go. The handoff to Joe Duncan, breaking tackles. He'll gain 5. Seemed like a generous spot, but the drive will continue nonetheless.
That was Edward Jasper on the stop, and it looked like it. And Duncan actually held on to the ball that time, so props to him there.
Did.
Props to him for that one.
Anything's a positive compared to those first 2 runs, that's for sure. Heavy box for Boston to counter that run to the right. He's a yard short. Brought down hard there on the run was Joe Duncan. (6'1", 235 pounds for the big bruising fullback. You're going to see him in a lot of these short downage scenarios, as well as, the majority of their runs. He's their best ball carrier back there. Looks like they may run again. The playbook is open, though. They'll hand it off up the middle. Duncan will get stopped just short of the line. Karen Riley, the one that makes the initial contact.
Karen Riley did a great job, and this defensive line did an amazing job of just stuffing the middle and not allowing Joe Duncan to get anywhere. Nice stop there.
19-yard attempt here for Bill Gramatica. It is up and good, cutting that to an 11-point game. 5 plays, 77 yards off of the back of that 69-yard reception from Derek Alexander. Andrew, that is their only completion of the entire ball game up to this point.
Well, it looks like one completion plus a few more plays was all they needed to get 3 on the board there. That was a solid drive there from San Diego.
It sure was their best by a huge margin. Hope they got to just clean things up offensively. A spin gives the returner a lot more room. Gets brought down pretty hard there. That is 89 for Boston on the return.
It's Quentin McCord, I believe.
It is. You are right, partner. Brought down right short of the 40-yard line. The San Diego defense hoping to stifle this cavalry offense once again. And off to the left-hand side here for Boston. And a gain of 2 before Horizon Breeze makes a hard hit. Excuse me, that was Rogers on the hit.
Nick Rogers did a good job of standing his ground and not letting that running back move anywhere. Nice hit.
Another offset eye here for Boston. San Diego finding themselves in a lot of nickel tonight. Snap here for Holiday. A ton of time on the 2-step drop. Could make a sandwich. Finally connects over the middle. A hard hit results in a first down from the Cavalry. Fearless Price strikes again in this one.
And if you see here on the replay, Price kind of just took a man with him as well. Just kind of bulldozed. I believe that was 25. That was Tony Tomlinson. What a hit, but Price just said, I'm going to keep going.
Those are those types of plays where you just got to make something happen. He left his initial route, cut back to the middle to find some space, and he did so. Holiday under center again. This time it'll be a run up the middle. Shut down very quickly there. Chris Claiborne on the hit.
Yeah, it looks like San San Diego's run defense is looking a little better than those first 2 drives. It's safe to say they might have had a talk when they got to the sideline over those struggled stops on defense.
Boston was a lot more balanced in their first drive, hoping to get back to that. They will pass this time. Holiday, the pressure's there, but attempts to throw it to the corner route and well short of the target. Ken Irvin, the one in coverage. Past the midfield mark now. Holiday hoping to keep the momentum in their favor. Trips to his left. Drop back. Throws in pressure and caught right on the money. Dallas Sanders again making his money worth with his second catch.
Dallas Sanders with a nice little... It looked like a post route. It looked like just a simple post route toward the middle of the field. And what a nice throw from Doc Holliday to find his man Sanders for the first down.
Irvin got a step behind there and tried to play catch up. Sanders playing in the Dev League down from Mexico City. He is very talented. Trips to Holiday's left. Scratch that. They will motion Peerless Price over to the right side. That is a pair of receivers to Holiday's sides. 2-step drop, slant over the middle, caught, and a ton of room to run. That's Price again.
Price is just hunting these defenders. He is absolutely... I mean, he's just trying to find any excuse to just truck somebody at this point. He trucked another one on that play.
That was Brian Russell, the one to get hit there, and he's just taking names, crossing people off a list, it feels like. Another pass here for Holiday. Pump fakes and brought down. Storm Johnson, playing down from Chicago, gets the hit.
And Johnson just did a great job of shooting the gap and getting right to Doc Holliday. Nicely done there from the big man for San Diego.
Holiday under center once again. We're going to see the same play as earlier, motioning to make it a pair of receivers to either side of Holiday. That slant route is there once again, and the attack's over the top, and it's incomplete. A hard hit there by Brian Russell to force it out. San Diego defense hoping to bend but not break here as Boston gets ever closer to that SFLm red zone. One solid play here, and they're well within field goal range. They might already be. Holiday to throw. Over the middle, the post is caught. Rolled over the tackler. Brings him in within the 5. Great play there. That's McCord. We saw him on the kick return earlier.
Yeah, McCord making names on the on the special teams and making names here. Nice little post route toward the middle again. And Doc Holliday able to find him and takes a hit, but keeps on going for a few more.
Holiday having a very solid day to start, 6 for 9 passing. As they go back to that offset heavy set box for San Diego. Run up the middle, stop just short. Rogers the first to make contact. And that one is stopped.
Looked like Rogers and Claiborne teamed up on him there.
It sure did. 1 yard line, 2nd and goal, 25 seconds left on the clock. Same look here from both sides. Run to the left side, it's a stretch run, fighting forward, rolls over him for the touchdown. A great run there by T.J. Duckett.
T.J. Duckett just said, you got to try harder than that if you're going to bring me down. He just took Denard Walker with him into the end zone. Well run.
Algie Crumpler, the tight end, was out there to hold the block, but he wasn't able to. And Duckett had to do it the hard way, and he sure did. Making it an 18-point ball game pending this extra point, which is up and good. And this first quarter isn't even over. play drive there for Boston. The longest on the day by any team by far. Our longest other than that was the 5-play drive we just saw from San Diego that resulted in a field goal, which was a 78-yard drive off the back of that 69-yard reception. But they're hoping for a little bit more of a well-sustained drive this time that isn't so reliant on the big play ball. Similar formation we've seen them in all night. Oh, fake handoff to the pitch to Duncan. Interesting play call there. I don't hate it. It'll gain 5. As time will tick away, that'll probably be the end of the quarter.
It looked like that was the same play they tried to run in the first quarter on that fumble. And this time they actually got it to pay off. But I would be careful calling that play in the future because you know what happened before.
You sure did. That's the end of the first quarter, folks. Boston rolling out to a early multi-possession lead over the Aces. I'm DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth is Andrew Gibson. Our statisticians, Eddie Gage and Keith Wheeler, as well as our producer, Alex West, making all of this possible. Duncan with a hard hit, and he fights through another tackle to gain the first down.
I believe that was Brian Scott that tried to bring him down, but Joe Duncan said you're going to have to try harder than that.
Those defensive backs are going to have a hard time on those one-on-ones, but the ones who won't are those linebackers. Keith Brooking makes the hit at the line.
Almost as if Brooking heard us in the booth and just said, yep, we linebackers are going to have to step it up a little bit here.
Yeah, they sure will. San Diego's Joe Duncan having a solid day on the night. And hoping to continue it. Apart from that potential fumble he had earlier, they'll call it 3rd and 4 after that run. Third and 4 here for the Aces. Lovelace under center. You see some motions from the linebackers there. She rolls out to her right. The pressure's there across her body. Caught. Great throw across the field. That is Randy Moss, the one to pull it in.
And a nice little rollout and way to escape pressure. Way to escape the pressure there coming at Eden Lovelace after, and just finds Randy Moss for a nice little throw and catch over the middle.
Looks like right at the 50, right past the 50 for San Diego. Like we said, hoping to have a drive that isn't relying on the big play ball, and they're doing so well right now. Duncan gets the handoff again, breaks a tackle, chug. Joe Duncan breaks a tackle and fights past that first down marker with ease.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's like trying to tackle a freight train. Joe Duncan just lays out Kevin McAdam and just keeps on trucking for the first down.
Folded him up like an accordion. I'd argue the hardest hitting back we have down here in the minor leagues. And he's out there again in the backfield. Lovelace does that fake handoff once again, and Duncan just fights and fights. Gains 6. Joe Duncan clearly frustrated after the first set of plays they had and taking it out on the Boston defense. High form here for the Aces. And another run to the left-hand side. Shut down. Michael Bennett, nowhere to go.
Michael Bennett and this Boston defense doing a much better job at bouncing back after giving up the big run.
Pass here, and that one caught. No, Derek Alexander drops it off his hand. 4th and 4 now for the Aces inside the 30. Is this within Bill Gramatica territory? It is not. Forced to punt Nick Murphy, the one to jog out there, not the leg that Aces offense wanted to see. Looks like it'll hit down at about the 11. No, he'll field it. At the 11 is where Boston will start.
See if San Diego's defense can put together another solid drive here.
I form here for the Cavalry. It'll throw. Doc Holliday, two-step drop and just a little bit too far out in front on the slant.
Looked like Doc Holliday got a little trigger happy on that one. He just kind of took a two-step drop and just kind of quick fired it over the middle, only to find nobody.
We go with that same formation here. Soft coverage to the top of your screen. Will be a five-step drop. Holliday on the post. Easy catch, easy first down. Brian Finneran, his first catch of the day. He's been rather quiet.
Yeah, simple little poster out there. Finneran able to split the defense and well-run route for the first down.
Boston trying to claw their way back out of that hole they were put in early. Not great field position. Running the ball this time. Shoelace tackle. Work done. Will gain 5. I form here. Closing in on 6 minutes now in the second quarter. Pitch to the outside. Duckett will meet Horizon Breeze and only gain 3 there. Five tackles on the day for Breeze. Offset eye now for the Cavalry. See a shift from that line. Holliday will throw, the pressure's there. Over the middle, it's incomplete. A nice hit there by Chris Claiborne. That makes that catch impossible for Algie Crumpler.
Yeah, if Chris Claiborne didn't stick his hand in there and knock that ball away, I think Crumpler might have been gone if he broke that tackle and got off that coverage.
I think you are right. 4th and 2. Boston forced to punt. Very quiet second quarter after the explosion of points we had early in the first. San Diego hoping to change that as Chris Moore with the leg. Tackle is made early after he fields it. It was Keith Newman. San Diego just hoping to get something. They just need to be able to finish these drives. They have been able to finish one with the field goal. The other, they were just out of range. And Joe Duncan, really the only thing they have going for them on offense so far. And off up the middle to Duncan. Fighting and fighting. That's 5 as it takes a pair of defenders to bring him down.
If I were Boston's defense, I would make the adjustment to double team Duncan, whatever you can do. If he gets the ball, you gotta have 2 guys on him.
Yeah, you gotta bring multiple tacklers to the point of attack. 4-3 for Boston. Run to that left-hand side. Bennett brought down quickly. They'll call it a 2-yard gain.
That was Karen Riley on the stop. Nice hit there. Good stop. This run defense is staying solid for Boston. I'll give them credit for that here in the first half.
Upset high for San Diego. Throw this time. Lovelace to the right. Caught on the hitch route. Beautiful throw. Randy Moss, the one to drag it in.
Lovelace with a nice little hitch route. I mean, just relatively simple football right there. Just little comeback route. Nice throw. Get the band the ball. Perfect play.
Same formation here for the Aces. Pass midfield now. What's this nickel look for Boston? Another throw from Lovelace. Pressure's on her back, and that one's caught. The coverage was tight, but Nate Burleson able to pull it in.
Lovelace is doing a good job early on of threading those passes through basically into tight windows to let these receivers do the work, and that was nicely done by Nate Burleson there for the first down.
Once again, same package from both sides. They go back to that pitch, and Duncan should have been a loss, but he fights ahead for 4.
That's just another example that we've been talking about all night. Joe Duncan just keep pounding the ball forward and keep going, and he is just absolutely bulldozing this Boston front.
4-3 here for Boston. The handoff to the outside. Bennett gets skinny. They'll call it a gain of 3. They are just slowly churning away and eating a lot of clock in the process.
Yeah, I think it's clear San Diego is just trying to get the ball with their game plan right now. They're just trying to get into half and maybe get at least a little something on the board before that quarter ends.
The run here, Duncan fighting, and it's first down once again. The legs of Duncan and Bennett keeping the Aces team alive. Doing some change left here in the second quarter. The Aces just outside of the SFLm. Red zone handoff up the middle. They'll call it a gain of 3. Seemed like a generous spot in Boston's favor. I thought he got more than that. But that is, I believe, the backup fullback for San Diego. It was Jim Kleinsaucer. 2nd and 7 here as the 2-minute warning looms overhead. Get the snap off. Lovelace will throw. Plenty of time over the middle. Picked off, but Keith Brooking will make the play nonetheless. Hits the turf, and a second left in the second quarter prior to the 2-minute warning.
Brooking almost made a nice interception, but once again, those hands not quite there, as that ball will just fall to the turf.
Go back here for the Aces. You got to throw. Lovelace will. To the left, off the hands of the receiver. Another nice play from Boston's defense. Oh, we have an injury. That is, Karen Riley. That's a big one.
That is a big one indeed.
And that is the 2-minute warning. San Diego going to be forced to kick here. Another instance of Boston's defense holding strong. Bill Grammatica will march out and hope to knock this one in the uprights once again. It's further than his last kick, but all the same, it's up and it is good to cut the lead from 18 to 15 on another 11-play drive.
I just really hope Karen Riley's okay. That's gonna be a big blow to this Boston defense, and that's just gonna be a huge blow for Boston.
One of the generics we have here in Boston, however, they are very solid. We've seen them make huge plays. I believe I gave them one of my play of the game balls in a previous week. And yeah, like you said, hopefully they'll be able to bounce back in this one. I form here for Boston. Those last 2 drives for San Diego, 10 and 11 plays. And off to the left-hand side, a hurdle to get some more room. And the first down, rolling over a defender to get it. Nice run there from Dunn.
Yeah, the hurdle's a risky move, but you just a little just a little jump was all he needed to clear that defender and keep on going. That's always a risky move to pull off, but nicely done there by Dunn.
Duckett in the backfield now for Holiday. They'll motion over Algie Crumpler to make it 2 stand-up receivers, 2 Holidays left. 2-step drop and a pass, breaks off the sack, and the other gets him. He's down for the 2-yard loss. A huge play for Willie Howard and the Aces.
And Howard and Holiday looked like he was going to escape Chuck Wiley, but Willie Howard said, "You're coming with me," and he brings him down for the nice sack. Nice play.
Holiday got to shake it off. Just under a minute to go in this second quarter. Another pass, 5-step drop to the right side, a little bit of separation, and it's caught. Oh, man. Just over the head of the defender.
Just over the head of the defender, and it looks like at this pace, they might just get into field goal range. We'll see what the strategy is going here down to the last minute.
We'll stop with the timeout. Looks like they'll bring an extra defensive back down. Crumpler will be the motion man. A single back in Holiday's backfield. 5-step drop to the left side. Caught! Scooped off the turf, and that's another first down and another timeout.
That ball almost looked like it was going to hit the turf, but nice grab there by Peerless Price.
Single back once again. Holiday to the flat. Off the hands, falls incomplete.
Looked like he almost got sacked before he threw the ball there. Or before he even finished the rollout, I mean. Correction there.
Just over 40 seconds left in this second quarter. Boston hoping to extend their lead. 2-step drop over the middle. It falls to the turf. No harm, no foul, but a risky one there. Tony Tomlinson will get the nod for the play.
If I were Holiday, I would not advise throwing that ball into a sea of just 4 San Diego defenders. He's lucky that one hit the turf.
Another single back look for Boston. Trips to Holiday's right. Horizon Breeze, the sole linebacker. Over the middle, it's caught. The drive continues. And another timeout. About 35 seconds to go as Boston continues with the chunk play chaos.
I think Boston's got their eye on the end zone here.
Another throw for Holiday. 3 steps over the middle. Caught right at the goal line. They're going to have to hurry. 25 and counting. First and goal right on the goal line. Inside that 1-yard line. A throw from Holiday to the flat. Oh, it's off his hands. Incomplete. Ooh.
Ooh. That's almost a better case scenario because you get the free timeout, but you get the free clock stop from the incompletion, and that basically just saves you because I think they've used all their timeouts.
You're completely right. Inside the 1 here. Got plenty of time. It's shotgun, though, for Holiday. Oh, trying to throw up a little fade route to Finneran. Excuse me, that might have been Sanders. The number was kind of hidden there, but it falls to the turf nonetheless. 3rd and goal. Inside the 1 once again. Single back here.
Looks like that was Sanders on that last play.
Another throw. Holiday. Oh, it's tipped and incomplete. They just didn't want to run, Andrew, in the event that they didn't get it, and it really bit them. They're now going to have to kick a chip shot 19-yard field goal, or 18-yarder, excuse me. And this is just free money here for Matty Maniac, and they're going to be able to extend their lead a little bit more. It's up and good. Not even a question as the second quarter ticks ever closer to being over. And I believe that was our longest drive of the evening so far, 12 plays.
Definitely have seen no shortage of action in this first half.
Kick underway. Fielded inside the end zone, and he'll fight ahead, and we'll call it out at the 28. San Diego may just let the time run out with a run or two, or they might try and go for a deep pass. Hail Mary here. Lovelace drops back to the right. Oh, tipped off the hands and incomplete. Second left on the clock. They're going to try one again. Another Hail Mary attempt here from Lovelace and company. Might as well. Tosses one up again and meets the hands of a defender. And that was all she wrote for this first half of football, Andrew. 24-6. Boston exploded onto the scene early on in this first quarter and slowed down a little bit since, but they still hold a 18-point lead entering the second half. Let me hear your thoughts. What do you think San Diego needs to do differently to bounce back into this game?
I think what San Diego needs to do is they need to get Derek Alexander more involved. He only had one catch in that first half for 69 yards, but I mean, that was their longest pass of the day, and I think that's what's been working for them is that pass game. If they can stick with that, they should be in good shape going forward. I mean, Joe Duncan can only carry you so far, but you need to get that pass game more involved in the second half if you want to get back in this game.
Completely agree with you there. Dallas Sanders gets the nod for the halftime player of the game, and I don't disagree, although Doc Holliday's had a very solid day as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Haba here in Boston, Massachusetts. The San Diego Aces have traveled from coast to coast to hopefully continue their road game victory streak that they have started this season. In Boston, hoping to get their first win of this revitalized franchise's career. I'm DJ Kilgannon with you for this second half. With me in the booth is my good friend and colleague Andrew Gibson. Our statisticians for the evening making us seem smart are Eddie Gage and Keith Wheeler. Thank you both. And our producer, of course, Alex West, pressing all the buttons back in the truck, making this product great. As well as a thank you to our commissioner, Ellie Diomis, for all she does. Fake handoff, pitch to the outside. Duncan gets brought down after a 4-yard gain.
It looks like San Diego had the same mindset as they have in the first half off play one. They just want to stick with Joe Duncan and ride him to the end.
Another run here to the left-hand side. Bennett hit hard, and they'll call it inches.
Trying to see who that was that laid the hit. I think that was Ray Buchanan who laid the hit there. Wow.
Hand off here, up the middle. Duncan fighting. And another first down off of the legs of this rushing tandem.
Duncan's longest run today is 15 yards, and he is just continuing to try to carry the San Diego team on his back.
Another run here. That one shut down rather quickly. didn't have anywhere to go. Keith Brooking leads the entire game in tackles, and he gets another.
He is just he's basically becoming a one-man wrecking crew on that defensive linebacking core. Keith Brookings really making a difference out there.
Handoff, Duncan wrapped up quickly. That was a play by, I believe that might have been 53 there for Boston. I'm able to get a name on that, keep you updated. Keith Newman, the one to get it there. That one incomplete. Very tight coverage. That time it was Todd McBride able to get in front of the pass catcher.
Todd McBride just blanketed the receiver well and played that pass perfectly. Nicely done there.
That one fielded, and I think he got a little bit of face mask with his hand there. You can't do that. Face mask indeed. On number 29. I
believe that was Brian Williams that got called for that.
Another I form here for Boston. 4-3 look for San Diego. Another run up the middle. Oh, another hurdle. Breaks a tackle and then a hard hit to close it. Ken Irvin helps play cleanup on Warwick Dunn's pinball of a run.
Ken Irvin just said, "I'm done playing games with Warwick Dunn" right there, and just laid the hit stick down. Nicely stopped there, by Ken Irvin.
I form here. Ton of people in the box there for San Diego. Pitch to the outside. Dunn fights ahead. Gets stopped 2 yards short of the sticks.
It almost looked like he was going to fight through there and at least get the first down, but that San Diego front did a good job containing him right there and right there, and just kept him there.
Offset eye to Holiday's left. And another run. This time, oh no, he fights ahead. TJ Duckett with a full head of steam rolls over the linebacker to be awarded with the first down.
And this is what I was talking about before in the first half. If I'm San Diego, I'd be dope. Except for flip sides, San Diego needs to get 2 bodies on that ball if they're gonna get back in this game.
Onto the right side, and that one just bottled up completely. Horizon Breeze got there quick.
Goose and Chap, could we please stop letting him roll? I would agree with that 100%, because you can't be letting those extra yards after contact happen.
Pitch will be caught 4 yards short of the sticks, and that'll move past the halfway mark now for Boston. Looks like a nickel look here for San Diego. They'll bring a linebacker. They won't. Falls back in coverage. Holiday to throw. Throws it to the right. Caught on the sideline and steps out of bounds. Fearless Price, the one to get his feet in.
Fearless Price. Nice little route near the sideline and a beautiful throw from Doc Holiday. Just finds him wide open. Nice throw and a toed tap as well to get the first down. Nice play.
Probably could have kept his feet in bounds and turned upfield if he, if he was real focused on pulling it in. But
he just wanted to make sure he held on to it, and I respect
that.
that.
Makes sense, and he caught it and did so well. A motion from the eye to the offset. Looks like Dunn in their fullback spot. Duckett will be the one with the carry, chugging ahead. First down on that carry.
And Duckett just getting aggressive with it. That was, as you say, I think they had done in the fullback spot, but TJ Duckett just carrying it forward for the first down. Nice little power run there.
Such a tenacious back combo here in Boston, and they're showing it tonight. Another run right up the middle. Dunn fights ahead. They'll call it 4 before he's knocked down hard by Brian Russell. Another heavy set run formation for Holiday and the Cavalry. San Diego prepared with their 4-3. Looks like they'll motion some backers in place and leave a big hole open. Dunn charges ahead. They'll give him 4, and they'll call it 3rd and 2.
And it looks like the game plan for Boston is simple. They are just running the ball up the throat of San Diego and just keeping the clock moving. And I think Boston's just content with this lead right now.
Seems like it. They will continue running. Duckett awarded the first down. Breeze the one to bring him down from behind. The only thing stopping him from scoring there. Plenty of tries now, and even if they can't knock it in, they're well within Maniac territory. They'll run again to the left. Dunn breaks a tackle, and Breeze plays cleanup. Might have gained half a yard, if any.
Solid play there by Horizon Breeze. And I think that's also another important thing on defense. You got to be there for your guys. If you start a tackle, you got to be there to finish the job. And that was nicely done there by Horizon Breeze.
No run here. Duckett gets the nod and chugs ahead. Doesn't matter how many people try and tackle him. He is gonna score. 12 plays, 10 of which were on the ground, and they finally punch it into the end zone.
And TJ Duckett just says, I'm just better to that entire San Diego front. Oh my goodness, what a great piece of power running there from TJ Duckett.
Kick is up and good for Natty Maniac. 31-6. Boston showing that they are not to be trifled with. And man, what a turn of events after their first 2 weeks.
Boston just clearly wants the win.
They sure do. And in a big way. The kick is off for San Diego. Something needs to change with this offense. Jolton Joe Duncan is their only source of production for consistency. 4.4 yards per carry, 71 rushing yards. Other than that, Derek Alexander had his big play, but they can't keep anything consistent, and they can't finish drives. They still haven't scored a touchdown at this point in the ball game. Field goals can't win, and they're gonna learn that really quickly if they aren't able to put 7 up. Lovelace will throw the lefty over the middle, meets the hand of a linebacker. Nice play there. That's 53 for their defense. It is Keith Newman. With the injury to Karen Riley, we'll get used to that name.
Keith Newman did a good job sticking the hand up there, and even though San Diego might be way out of this game, I would just look for anything you can just hang your hat on at the end of the night here.
Another pass for Lovelace, rolling out to her left, across her body! Nearly caught, but falls incomplete. Derek Alexander almost had another huge play.
It looked like Derek Alexander for a moment there, as he was falling to the ground, was trying to look for a flag. I'm glad they didn't call it there. Just let him play on.
Just under 3 minutes to go. 3rd down here for the Aces. Lovelace to throw again. Plenty of time to her right, incomplete. Thrown a little bit too far out in front of Moss.
I think Lovelace was trying a little miscommunication between Moss and Lovelace there, and that's a bad miss for Lovelace.
It sure is. Had a little bit of separation, but still not a guarantee, clearly, as they will be forced to punt again. Nick Murphy, the leg, and this one is caught just shy of the 50-yard line. GG's being called upon in chat, but I don't know, Andrew. I've seen crazier things.
I've seen crazy things too, but I guess San Diego players aren't really having the faith right now.
Clearly not. Offset eye. Run to that side. Dunn just slipping through defenders, 6 yards. And then he's brought down 2.5 in the third left.
Yeah, if you're Boston, I would just keep hold of the ball as long as you can and keep running that clock. And that's what they seem to be doing here, going out of the run setup again.
And the stadium continues to cheer with that run by TJ Duckett to cut it to inches. Boston clearly did their homework. Their coordinators should be proud of themselves, especially with how they played up to this point. Head coach Jay Bomber, Jesse Long, one of their coordinators as well. They've done a great job tonight. Dunn breaks a tackle and gets the first down.
Oregon Dunn averaging 3.3 carry. Another solid carry right there.
Like another run again. Delayed handoff to the left side. And it doesn't matter. Duckett will still charge ahead for 2. But a nice play there from Russell to get involved.
Russell and I believe Breeze combined there on that tackle.
Yeah,
maybe trying to at least give the defense something to hang. Trying to give the defense something to hang their hat on.
Certainly wouldn't doubt it. That's Finneran in motion. He's had a solid day after a quiet first quarter. 3 for 3 on his targets and catches. Pitch to the outside. Dunn will stiff arm a defender into another and fight ahead for 15. Man, what a day for Dunn.
Dunn just over the... Just absolutely bullies that man out. Oh. Dunn, that man had a family, bro. Come on.
He did.
He had a family, but Dunn just says, I don't care, and keeps it going.
He does.
Nice run.
Breeze sticks with it, makes the play. Nearing that SFLm red zone is the cavalry. They're all on their horses, swords at armed. And that one, they'll call it a yard. Horizon Breeze.
Seemed a little generous with the spot there.
I don't disagree. I'm not going to get into it, though. Nothing.
Explains why we're up here in the booth.
Yet. That's right.
Explains why we're up here in the booth.
That is exactly right. We haven't seen anything crazy yet. A throw this time from Holiday. Oh, all right, connects with the drag. I mean, keep it simple, why don't you? A little bit of an extension of the run game there, and it works to perfection. Their first pass of the drive, and it's complete. And that is the end of the third quarter. The folks here in Boston are electric because their cavalry are showing up to all they've been hyped up to be. 31-6, the lead for the Cavalry as we start the fourth quarter. Put your fours up in the chat.
I was going to say, the drag route's low-key underrated play. Nicely done there by Boston to utilize it as an extension of the run game.
Hand off up the middle once again. Breaking tackles is done well within the red zone now, and it's a new set of downs for them. Like I said, put your fours up in the chat. Hit that like button as well. Give us a subscribe. First 3 people to like the video after this will get an Andrew Gibson signed player card from ours truly up here in the booth. Pitch to the outside. Duckett gets brought down. That may be a loss. One of the first of the day for them.
I believe that was Tomlinson on the hit. That was Tony Tomlinson. That was his 3rd tackle of the day. Nice stop there.
Another I-form look here for the Cavalry. Time ticking away here in this fourth quarter, already a minute down, and there we go. Nice stop there from Rogers. Hit before he could even look up.
Rogers did a good job blitzing the gap, making the hit. Nice stop all around there.
Throw here for Holiday. To the right side, oh man! Nearly got it in the back of the end zone, but his receiver wasn't able to pull it in. That'll be another kick for the Maniac. And should have caught that one. Finneran just not quite able to pull that one in. A very hard throw. Ken Irvin was all over it.
Yeah, Ken Irvin was all over it. Even if Finneran got his hands around to make that play, I think it still would have been tough because he would have had a toe tap on the sideline there. But it is what it is.
Kick from the right hash is up and good. Bring out your straight jackets, folks, because Matty Maniac is having himself a ball game.
He's been busy with all the times that Boston has been scoring.
He sure has. 34-6. 28-point deficit here for the San Diego Aces. A 4-possession game. What do you feel they need to do, Andrew, to be able to have a fighting chance in this one, in this fourth quarter?
Well, that's a good start. I mean, solid return there. Solid return, but I think if you're San Diego, you kind of just have to stop going to Duncan. I mean, I don't want to say completely stop, but he's just not getting you much on the ground right now. And I think they just got to keep passing the ball, but they're going to keep going to Duncan. I just feel like because they just don't think they don't think. There's not really much fighting chance for San Diego, so they're just looking for something to hang their hat on.
Yeah. They will. And off to the right, and a gang of cavalry defenders get there to quickly clean it up. Paul Alazar, the main one that plays cleanup duty, and he's been a little quiet in these last 2 weeks after his first week of action. He had 11 tackles in his debut game. Handoff here to Bennett. He gets shut down quickly. That's Alazar once again. There we go.
All you need to do is encourage these safeties a little bit, and that makes some plays. Paul Alazar making a nice tackle there after he seemed to have heard you in the booth there.
Oh, and that one just shut down all the way. Edward Jasper with the sack. Lovelace trying to get that throw off, and he just decimates her.
And Lovelace looking at her blocking and being like, "Can I get some help?" Looking at Bennett there and just could not get any help. Just like Bennett just kind of left Lovelace to get hit there.
Fielded at the 20, taken out to the 28-yard line. Man, Boston, I feel like they just need to continue giving the ball to Dunn and Duckett here. When you look at it from a stat sheet point of view, Andrew, those two backs really haven't had that impressive of a day. Dunn averaging 3.6 yards per carry, Duckett averaging 2.8. But they're doing enough to stay ahead of the chains.
Yeah, it's mainly been the defense and the combination of just key yarded, like short yardage situations that Dunn and Duckett just seem to capitalize on.
Dunn takes full control there, charging ahead, getting the first down on the first play all by himself now. Under 7 minutes in this fourth quarter, you can see the distraught faces on the sideline of the Aces, and they're going to challenge it.
It looked like a slightly generous spot, but I don't get the point of the challenge here.
Well, Dondes Talacarne clearly not happy with the call. He's as fed up with these Boston referees as I am. But even I agree that he, I mean, at the end of the day, this call doesn't matter as much, right? So maybe just trying to
Yeah,
get a win
yeah.
in that column. Let's see. Official call here. It is overturned. They'll call him short. So nice challenge there from head coach Dondes Talacarne. And like we said, gonna get a little notch in his hat for that one.
I think San Diego's just trying to make Boston work for every yard possible at this point.
And it is second and a eyelash here. You could just stick the ball an inch further and it would be over. Holiday under center. Handoff up the middle. Not even a question. First down easily for Dunn.
Dunn up to now 3.9 yards per carry. He's slowly getting that average up, even in garbage time.
He sure is. Boston hoping to continue to get as much clock off the as much time off the clock. Excuse me. My goodness gracious. It's been a long night of calling games. My brain is gone. 2-yard rush there from Duckett.
Duckett just keeping to the game plan, keeping possession, and keeping the clock moving. And it's clear that's what Boston wants to do as we go under 6 to go.
Another run here for them, and that one stopped right at the line. Nice play there from Nick Rogers to shut it down.
Rogers with a solid stop there. And I think San Diego, you can't be discouraged by this loss too much. You've had a solid first few weeks, and you just gotta move on and put this game behind you.
Oh, pass from Holiday meets the hands of Brian Russell and falls incomplete. Could have been a lot worse for him. Would have ruined what's been a great day of passing the ball for him. And they will have to punt now, marching out Chris Moore. I'll tell you what, Andrew, this Boston defense going to come back out. Their defensive coordinator, Jesse Fretz, former Philadelphia Cougar running back, now Chicago running back, doing some coaching down here as well, has done an absolutely amazing job today in his game plan. I mean, this defense, in my opinion, Andrew, is the reason that this lead is as stifling as it is. I mean, they have completely dominated as far as my opinion goes.
I would absolutely agree with you, DJ. Their defense has been lights out. The defensive touchdown at the beginning of the game, and
man,
right on cue. There it is.
I mean, could you write it any better? As I get a message, Keith Brooking forces the fumble, and the crowd erupts. Recovered by Boston for their second fumble recovery of the day. And their third forced fumble of the day. Wow.
Right on cue. I mean,
right on cue.
There's not much to say other than that. That describes it right there. Their defense has just been absolutely locked down.
Quick points to come for Boston. Handoff to the right, and that one's tackled 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. 5 minutes and some change left in this fourth. There you can see defensive coordinator Jesse Fretz talking to his guys, praising them for the performance they've been putting on today. Well deservedly. Handoff right up the middle. Not even a question. Well inside the SFLm red zone now. Warwick Dunn continuing his dominance.
And a nice block there by 67. I believe that was 67.
It was, you're right.
But a
Purvis.
solid block there to set up the run for Warwick Dunn.
Inside the 10-yard line here, 4 and some change left. Hoping to extend their lead a little bit more. Handoff to the right-hand side. Dunn fights within the 3-yard line. And this next one could be extending their lead even more. Two and a half yards to go here for Boston. Heavy set box for the Aces. Right hand side, Duckett not even touched. Touchdown Cavalry. 41-6, pending the Matty Maniac extra point.
I mean, we were talking pregame about how we wanted to see some action this game, and I think we've got our fair share of it. 41 points pending the extra point from Maniac, and what a game it has been for Boston tonight.
The extra point is good.
It's up and good. 4 plays, 21-yard drive after the fumble recovery for Boston. The running splits for both backs, 96 for Dunn, 36 for Duckett, unofficially, thanks to our stats crew for the information. There's a nice broken tackle and a little bit of room. They'll call it out to the 39 after the nice return. Matty Maniac, I think, going downfield to make that tackle. Okay. The fans in the stands with their straight jackets on. We'll get another look here. I don't want to give him credit any more than he's due if he doesn't need it.
No, it was him. It was him.
It was him.
It was him.
Touchdown
Got
He can do it all.
Gotta respect the little extra effort from the kickers there.
That's right.
Gotta respect the extra effort.
Quality tackle, too. Put him in as a Sam linebacker. No one would see him over those big defensive linemen. Lovelace to pass. Over the middle, nearly picked. A diving attempt. Kevin McAdam.
Oh, that looked like a tough play for McAdam, but again, where's the hands? We gotta haul that one in, man. Come on.
Single back look for the Aces. Lovelace, two-step drop, quickly thrown and nearly picked again. Paul Alazar, the one to have his hands on it.
Alazar is starting to resurge a little bit in this toward the end of the third and the fourth quarter. Maybe all we needed to do for him was just say his name a little bit.
Total offensive production here for San Diego has not been great. Oh, nice catch there to bring them past midfield, and they're hurrying up.
Looks like that was Moss. Either Moss or Alexander on the grab there. That one was a Moss.
Ton of defenders in the area. That one nowhere close to being pulled in. As far as San Diego's offensive production goes, Andrew, their third and fourth quarter combined, they have only managed to get 36 total yards of offense compared to their 178 first half of production. That one caught, certainly increasing their numbers a little bit there, out past the 30. Want to get some points to at least lighten this deficit a little bit. Lovelace to throw once again over the middle, nearly picked off, but it falls.
Keith Brooking got his hand up to deflect that one away. And as you said earlier, only 38 total yards combined over these last two quarters. I think that's just been a statement to Boston's defense. It's just a statement of their dominance tonight.
Thank you for our statisticians for that amazing stat there. The great Eddie Gage back in the stats truck. Justin Reside as well, helping now. That one caught. Oh, and
my.
to catch it off the tip. Karen
Oh
Riley
my
went down with the
goodness.
injury earlier, and guess who makes the play? That is
Oh
backup
my
linebacker Keith
goodness.
Newman. The original call was a fumble, but I don't think it was, Andrew. I think that got hit out and then picked off by Keith Newman. So either way, I think that's a turnover. But we won't see a challenge, so the initial call will stand.
That's wow. That's just another example of Boston's defense just stepping up. And I know we keep talking about him, but oh my goodness, what a play.
Keith Brooking continuing to have a great day as he was involved on the play as well. 2nd and 5 now for Boston. This could be the last possession.
I think it will be. And with that run, Warwick Dunn now over 100 rushing yards, 102 on the game. He's had himself a nice day out there.
Nearing that 2-minute warning for Boston. Get that throwaway timeout of San Diego's out of the way. Duckett breaks a tackle. Gets skinny past another and charges ahead for a first.
And just keeps rolling forward. TJ Duckett with another nice run there.
Just doing everything in his power. He is an angry runner, Andrew. He doesn't go down easy. And that's our 2-minute warning. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have 2 minutes of football left to go. We'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Virtual Football Network. Right now, you're watching the Boston Cavalry take on the San Diego Aces here. Week 3 of the SFLm's 12th season. I'm DJ Kilgannon with you. I've been your broadcaster, your play-by-play broadcaster of the evening. There's our first timeout for San Diego. With me in the booth has been Andrew Gibson, your analyst. Our statisticians are Eddie Gage and Justin Reside. Keith Wheeler also helped with the first half for stats. Producer Alex West making this game happen live for us, so thank you, Alex. And Boston here.
I think I saw a stat there that I want to mark as interesting. 48 yards after contact this game for Warwick Dunn. That's almost half of his rushing total all game. That is
very impressive.
That is impressive.
He has more after contact than his counterpart Duckett does in total. That's more than half of Duncan's production as well, and more than Bennett has on the other side. But TJ Duckett has gotten all the touchdowns, 3 of them for him. 1 for Sanders through the air, as they will continue running, and they're putting on the final shovelfuls of dirt onto this casket that has carefully been laid into the grave that Boston has dug for him. First down will end it, and to be determined. That one stopped before it. Nick Rogers makes the nice play. George Lane gets his first carry late in this one.
Boston's just trolling him now in the late minutes. They're going to the third stringers.
They sure are. They're getting everybody involved. You might as well. Just a yard short of the 50-yard line, and they need to close out this game. Honestly, if they don't get it, I think they should go for it anyway.
Yeah.
Heavy set look for Boston. Time ticking away. They're going to bite off as much of the clock as they possibly can. 2 seconds to go. They'll snap it. Dunn fights ahead. First down. Ball game. Warwick Dunn says this one is done. Wow. I mean, we had that first Oregon-Boston game, and I thought that was going to be one of the most lopsided performances we were going to see this season. And boy, was I wrong.
We were
Because
both
here- we sure
we were both very wrong.
We were, because here's Boston just absolutely throttling San Diego. They lost by 15 to Oregon in week 1. They then lost 6-0 to the Gargoyles in week 2. And then they come out against the San Diego Aces and win 41-6. Against a team that beat New York in week 1 and narrowly lost to Philly in week 2. That is your ball game. The Boston Cavalry get the first win on their revitalized franchise. And wow, what a win it was. San Diego clearly feeling the layover from their west to east coast travels. Andrew, give me an offensive or defensive player of the game, my friend, and maybe your thoughts on the game as a whole.
Overall, I think it was a wild game. Congratulations to Boston on their first ever win with their revitalized franchise. And if I were to pick a defensive player of the game, I'd say Keith Brooking. He absolutely went off, and he forced a few fumbles as well, and 3 pass deflections. A solid game for Keith Brooking. And I think that Boston defense, in that running game with Warrick Dunn, is unbelievable. Yeah. So for offensive player of the game, I'd pick Warrick Dunn. Defensively, I would go with Keith Brooking.
I will give the nod to Boston's offensive line. They let Warrick Dunn run all over San Diego and allowed TJ Duckett to get 3 rushing touchdowns. And I think Keith Brooking deserved it all the way. I completely agree with you, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for enjoying your Tuesday night with us for some SFLm action. We're going to be back on Thursday, where we have the San Jose Flight taking on the Oregon Waves. I have been DJ Kilgannon, your play-by-play broadcaster this evening. With me has been Andrew Gibson, our producer Alex West, our statisticians Eddie Gage and Justin Reside. Wish you all a good night.